Well, there's always, you can never play a perfect game. We had penalties. That was one thing. UVA didn't have any penalties, and we had quite a few. So we can always clean up penalties, always be smoother there. Just some missed assignments here, there. I had some good throws, but there were some throws that, guys just made great plays and kind of made up for a bad placement of the ball. There was a couple bad throws that could even been intercepted. So it wasn't perfect, and there's always something you can improve on.
This team you're going up against was able to be the Hampton team you guys struggled against last year. How do you get ready for that defense? How do you get ready for that team, considering the fact that you just had a very emotionally tolling win at Virginia in such an emphatic fashion?
Right. You mentioned the Hampton game, and that's kind of what I was reminded of when I saw the opponent. They're similar to Hampton was last year, and I think even after our Maryland game, Hampton was coming off playing a Division II team as well, I believe. And you can never watch one game and kind of get the story of the team. They have a lot of good young players, fast kids who are making plays. So they're well coached too. That we know that, and they've historically had great defenses. So and you also can't look at just the coverages and the defenses that they ran and expect them to only do that. They're going to game plan for us and have different ways to try to stop us. So just, again, being ready for everything, kind of throwing new stuff at them and just preparing the best way we can.
Every game you guys play for the rest of the year, well, you're ranked number 2 right now. You had that win that got everybody's attention against Virginia. I mean, when Norfolk State rolls in here, it's almost like they kind of have nothing to lose. They're going to give you their best game. This is probably their Super Bowl on Saturday. I mean, what's it going to be like week in, week out?
Sure.
Take everyone's best shot.
I think, like you said, everybody's going to give us their best shot, and it just means you got to be ready to play each game. Last year we had a couple games where we didn't execute and we got beat, and that's what happens, in the FCS and especially in the CAA once we get into conference play. If you're not playing your best, you're going to get beat by anybody. So, and that's the same for Norfolk State. If we don't play well, we can get beat even at home. So, I think we're excited to play at home, and that's going to even give us a little bit more motivation, a little bit more juice coming out there, and because we want to put on a show for our home fans.
I know this is a confident group, but that win on Saturday, where it was, against who it was, how emphatic it was. I mean, this is a team that is a legit national title contender. I mean, what can that do going forward? The way you won, who you beat, all those things. Right.
We just have to carry the momentum, and going into UVA, we expected to win, and we did our job. So just take it 1 week at a time and try to win every game so that we can, put ourselves in great position going into the playoffs and have as many home games as we can.
Coach wasn't happy with yesterday's practice. Did you notice a little bit of a lull in something that needs to be snapped out of?
Maybe a little bit. I think just coming off the game, I think guys are still a little bit sore, a little bit tired, and it was really hot yesterday was another thing. Fortunately, at UVA, it wasn't that hot. But you always have bad practices or not the best practice here or there, but it's just about responding and coming out the next day and doing better and also coming in on those non-opportunities to practice and just watch film and that sort of thing. But even in Virginia, we didn't have our best day every day, but these guys are an experienced enough group to where if we put in if we have a practice that's not our best, we're going to respond and come back better the next time, and we're going to even prepare harder, going into the Friday and Saturday before the game.
I don't know, have you felt the superstar effect coming back to campus with a big win over Virginia?
I think there's been a little bit more buzz going around, and it definitely feels good that some more attention. The students are, kind of who are these guys, and there's some banners and there's been pictures on the website and stuff, and I think it's great publicity for our team. And we definitely think, this Saturday we're going to have a great crowd, and it's always fun playing at home. There's a reason why it's called home field advantage, and that definitely is the case here. And we just hope to have a sellout crowd, and we hope it's loud, and we hope to have that all season. And 6 of our next 10 games are at home, so we love playing at home, and we can't wait for Saturday.
So you were confident at media day in regards to how the offense would be in sync with the new offensive coordinator. Were you even taken by surprise with how smooth the offense flowed in the first game?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm surprised. We have such an experienced group, and it starts up front. Those guys played an outstanding game, and anytime that you can protect and block well at the point of attack and run the ball, you're just hard to beat. I mean, when the defense can force you to be one-dimensional, either just running or just throwing, then they can kind of control the course of the game. But when you can throw and run, and which we were doing effectively at UVA, it's hard to beat us. And I think it's, like you said, our best football is yet to come. And I think, we can only improve from here. That was our first game, and we had a tremendous menu of plays in that first game. We didn't even call, over half the plays that we had in for the game. So it's great that we'll be able to carry in a lot of what we had in for last week into this next week. And, Norfolk State hasn't even seen that.
For you individually, it was a great game performance. You got CAA Offensive Player of the Year. You were highlighted on ESPN and SportsCenter for being one of the big players in these FCS upsets. How does that help you continue to build on your confidence? You're already confident. We can tell that every day. But knowing that you can do it day in, day out against top-tier talent and teams.
Well, I think, one, just being humble and, appreciative of the guys around you. We had, like I mentioned before, every pass wasn't great, and we just had, Jamal Bevel's jumping up and making that play on the sideline is not something that every receiver's doing around the country. So just guys making plays like that just helps you out. Even that deflected ball for a touchdown, that was just a great play by our receiver, so kind of hats off to them. And Coach Garrett, has definitely instilled in me to never be satisfied. And he always told me, you should be ticked that you didn't have more yards. Look at this play. Look at this play you should have thrown. Look at this one. And I think, there was 11 incomplete passes, and maybe 5 or 6 of those were my fault, and I could have made them better. So I'm never satisfied, and I think it can always get better. There's always ways to improve. There's always, when I analyze it, I look at my footwork. I think there were some things with my footwork that I can definitely clean up that will put me in better positions. And, the more accurate you are with your passes, the more yards after catch, and so all of that I'm taking into account, and I think it can definitely get better.
What's your reaction when you see number 2 in the national poll?
Well, my first reaction is we got to beat the number 1 team, everybody knows who that is. I won't even mention their name, but just staying there, just whether it's the number 1 team losing and surpassing them, or just keeping that number 2 spot. We don't want to go back. And that's very, very difficult, with a long season ahead of us. But that's the goal, is just to stay where we're at and just take it one game at a time. And we're a good enough team that if we focus and play well one game at a time, that we won't lose a game, and we'll be able to have great momentum going into the playoffs.
What happened at the end of the first half Saturday?
Well, we had a quick game called. I didn't like any of the looks right off the bat, and I rolled out. I thought I didn't think the play would take 8 seconds, and I was should I throw it to him? Should I throw it out of bounds? And that was just definitely mismanagement by me. I should have, first read's not there. I should have gotten rid of it and thrown it out of bounds. Coach Garrett tried to take blame for it, but it's definitely my fault, and it's something I was not happy about at the end of the half, and I told everybody I'd make up for it. So. Something that I'll learn from, and it definitely won't happen again.
Kyle, how much leeway do you have in the line of scrimmage to check away from?
Definitely a lot, and that we have a lot of run-pass alerts, run alerts. I have the ability to change one pass look into another pass look, and it's I learned years ago, starting with Coach Fisher, and then Coach Garrett came over and gave me his experience and his thoughts on things, and I just had been surrounded by so many great coaches that have taught me. To command the line of scrimmage, and when you can put your quarterback and give him that freedom, I think it just makes the offense that much more dynamic. And Coach, tells me before the game, I'm giving you the keys to the car. I trust you, with the checks you make and stuff like that. So, but I've definitely been well coached to make those checks. So, I'm just doing what I'm coached to do, and just putting the offense in the best position to succeed.